There are some very big things planned for this month at the revitalized Shea Theater in Turners Falls. It's the new Vaudeville Holiday Spectacular, and Linda McInerney, artistic director at Eggtooth Productions in Greenfield, came by to give us the story.
So the story is that we are going to be presenting on December 15th through the 18th at the Shea, what I'm calling the new Vaudeville Holiday Spectacular. And by the way, if you want to add a few more words to that long title, you're welcome to do so. But the idea is that I've had so much pleasure and I guess you could say success in creating these festivals in the Greenfield area, bringing many, many artists together. We have so many brilliant artists in our region. We're so fortunate. And bringing them together for an event. And as Greenfield has grown and has become more of a destination for dining and entertainment, a lot of those underutilized venues are not available anymore. They're now rented out, which is great news. Greenfield is growing and becoming the Renaissance community that we were always hoping for. And so, but the artists are still there. So what is the way to gather those artists together and offer their work to the public? And I just had the idea of why not put all the pieces together? Why not have 5 to 10 minute little increments, little showlets, and put them all together like a variety show at the newly refurbished, as you were describing, Shea Theater, which is so beautiful now and such an exciting venue.
Let me ask you, I want to get into all the logistics so everybody knows when and where and everything. But the assignment, I read your release, the assignment to presenters, you said performances that create art based upon the theme of grace. Wow.
Well, that, when I thought of that idea, I had no idea how much we would be needing the idea of grace. And if ever there were a time to sort of feel our hearts are opened and we're connecting with one another in a civilized, peaceable way, it's now. And the theme really seemed to resonate with people. I put out a request for proposals 2 or 3 months ago and had a really huge response. So it was really exciting to put the acts together that we thought would work the best. And just this idea of grace, that feeling that you get when you see something beautiful in motion, or you hear something beautiful in sound, or you see an action that brings out that opening of your heart. I wanted to create something like that. I mean, the whole Christmas Kwanzaa thing doesn't really do it for me. I wanted to have it beyond religion and in a sort of more secular way, but with a spiritual element to it. And so this is the kind of thing that families can go to. Children are free. They can have a wonderful time. There will be cheerful, fun things. There will be meaningful things. We'll have a whole spectrum of different kinds of performances offered.
So we don't forget, let's remember it's called, excuse me, pardon me, the new Vaudeville Holiday Spectacular. You've got 3 evenings of performance, Thursday through Saturday at 7:30, and then Sunday matinee, 2 p.m. That's December 15th through the 18th. Correct. Okay. There is a charge for adults, $15, but as you said, anybody under the age of 15 is free, so bring your whole big family, all the kids, they're going to have a great time.
And if I could clarify,
please do.
People have wondered if children or young people need to be ticketed. No, just bring them. We'll just let them in. Just the adults need to be ticketed, and tickets are available at my website, eggtooth.org.
Good, you made that clear. Dance, theater, installation, cabaret, music, puppets, drag, monologue. It's a dictionary definition of performance and beyond performance art.
That's right. What the whole idea is, how can we be as inclusive, as celebratory, as welcoming as we possibly can, given all the wealth of talent that's all around us and all the different kinds of artists that we have. And this just seemed to be the perfect way to do so.
One thing that hit me right away, and it's an amazing list of performers, many known throughout the valley and the region, and some are new names. But one person is going to, I know, give a performance, a piece of the musical that everybody's talking about right now, the Broadway hit Hamilton.
Isn't this
Wow,
wonderful?
what a
We
great
are so
presentation
lucky.
that is.
So that is Kyle Boatwright, who is a great performer, African-American performer from Northampton area. And I've known Kyle for many, many years. And this actually is a wonderful little thing. She posted herself singing this, and it just was so powerful and meaningful that I asked her if she would do it, and she just said yes. So we're really excited to have Kyle on board. I haven't worked with her in a long time, and she is a great singer, a great performer. What a wonderful, talk about a musical and talk about a movement that is filled with grace. That would be Hamilton for sure. Speaks to us all in a lot of ways.
Not to take away from the performance you're going to see on stage, but the minute you walk in, the lobby is going
yes,
to
I'll tell
be
you.
festive, and there's going to be performance there.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is just fill this entire space, every part of it, with something filled with grace and beauty and joy. And so in the lobby, Joshua Platt, a wonderful dramaturg and writer and director, is creating an entire installation in the lobby that is about the theme of grace through time. So that will be wonderful and beautiful. And at the same time, Piper Pichette, who is a harpist, a young harpist, is going to be playing harp music as people come in. But the other thing I really want to say is anyone who hasn't been to the Shea Theater in a long time will be blown away by the beauty of this. There's a new team of people that have restored the Shea, headed up by, as you said, Monty Belmonte is part of it. The Goldmans are part of it. Lisa Davil, Jim Olson of Signature Sounds is part of this. There's a whole group of wonderful people who have put a ton of effort into I don't even know what, just making more beautiful than ever the Shea, and it's filled with art created by a wonderful artist named Peter Kitchell. These beautiful, huge light sculptures, gorgeous paint job and very artistic colors, raw wood bar where you can get a great glass of beer or a cider or a ginger libation, kombucha, all that wonderful stuff that we have up in the valley. And so, yeah, the whole thing is, I hope, is going to be just what people are looking for at this point in time. That's our deep intention, at any rate, to create a really wonderful holiday experience for the whole family.
Let's delve into that a little bit. It's been a tough year for the country. No matter where anybody sits right now in terms of their politics, we're not going to worry about that. That's not what this is about. But a lot of tough things have been said. A lot of feelings have been hurt. A lot of healing needs to happen, no matter where you are on the political spectrum. That's a lot of what this is about, and you got a whole 40 seconds to think about
Absolutely.
it.
The whole topic of grace, if ever there were a time where we need to be close together and find our interconnection and feel that heart opening with one another, it's now. And this, again, this is the place where you can do that. You can see all kinds of art. You can feel good with your family. You can feel good with those people around you. And we can find common ground of loving and celebrating and seeing beautiful new artists doing beautiful new work.
It is the new Vaudeville Holiday Spectacular at the Shea Theater, Turner's Falls, December 15th through the 18th. Good luck. Everybody have a great time.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks so much for having me.